G'day guys, it's Tom from Tano's MK. Today we're out here with Ethan, and this is his boosted Sd33t bus. He's going to give us a little walk around on. Let's get into it.
My name is Ethan. This is my 1985 MK Patrol. I bought this thing about 4 years ago as a rolling shell. Originally it was an L28 Auto, which is interesting. Previous owner had a 351 Cleveland in it, and then I bought it as a shell and did the Sd33t swap. Originally I did the swap for my own schoolies trip to Fraser or Gare, but I've kept the car since then and done a lot of mods to it, including rebuilding the engine, re-gearing the diffs, different turbo, camping setup in the back, all sorts of different stuff. So when I originally did the conversion, I've got a second-hand engine from a bloke sort of nearby to me, and it always was okay, but it leaked oil out the edges of the head gasket and used a bit of oil and water. So I pulled it out about 2 years ago, intending on just doing a head gasket, but I ended up pulling the whole thing apart and basically rebuilding it. Not a full rebuild with pistons, but seals, all that kind of stuff. I ended up getting a new block because the one I had, the liners were pretty scored and I couldn't afford to get new liners for it. So I got a different block with better liners, put new bearings, new seals, all that kind of stuff in it. And then during the rebuild, I also decided to put a Garrett GT 2052V turbo from a Sd33t onto it. So it's now a variable vane turbo SD, which just gives it a little more boost down low. I have it set right now about 8 pound at 1500 and a max of about 16 pound. Just makes the drivability really nice around town. You get that torque coming in down low, and it's super smooth, super nice to drive.
There's no snap cranks around here.
No, exactly. I don't have it boosting to the moon down low. I'm making sure to keep it safe. So yeah, rebuilt the engine, chucked it back in, and it's been amazing to drive ever since. This is a fantastic turbo combo. Yeah. So for intercooler, I've got 2.5 inch pipe out of the turbo into a big front mount up the front. 2.5 out of the intercooler, and then just straight into the factory intake. So nice big pipe, not so big that it's going to be super laggy, but big enough that there's plenty of capacity there. And then it's just 3 inches from the airbox into the turbo first as well. So nice big intake, lots of airflow, keeps it nice and good. On the highway, my EGTs, if I'm not carrying anything, nice and light, they'll sit around 230-ish degrees Celsius. On the way down here, because I'm down from Queensland, they've been sitting around that 300 mark, but that's still pretty good for cruising along the highway. That's cruising along at about 10 pound-ish, so it's pretty good. It's nice to drive.
Right, so I saw one of the mod plates in there was for putting the Sd33 back in the car, and the original was for the original engine that was in there before this, which was the V8. There was another code on there I didn't recognise. Was that suspension related?
Yeah, so when I got the car, it already had 2 plates on it. One was for the 351 Cleveland and some custom seats, which I've since put factory seats back in because they're much more comfy than bucket seats. And the second one was for a body lift. So I've kept that in there. I'm sort of 50-50 on body lifts, but in my eyes, it lets me run a bigger tyre without scrubbing on the guards while still keeping, I guess, a lower centre of gravity. I don't know. I try to justify it to myself, but I may as well leave it there. What it did allow me to do is when I did the SD conversion, from factory, the transfer cases hang down a long way below the chassis, so it allowed me to tuck the gearbox right up under the car so that it's not perfectly smooth, but it's a lot better than it used to be from factory. I've also, under the car, got some Superior Engineering 2-inch shackles, so they give about 1 inch of lift on each end. And for springs, they're just factory springs. I've moved leaves around from, 1 end to, I've put the load leaves from the rear and the front to give it a bit more support because they were sagging a bit. And for shocks, the rear's got Tough Dog heavy duty shock, which is what the previous owner put in there. Why you'd ever put a heavy duty shock in a leaf sprung car, I don't know. So I want to get them changed, but I'll do that eventually. And then in the front, I'm actually doing a bit of an experiment right now. I've got a set of my dad's GU factory length actually Pettis heavy duty front shocks. They're gas shocks, and I've flipped them upside down. And if you know anything about twin tube gas shocks, they don't work properly when they're upside down. So because it's leaf sprung, it really does not need a lot of shock absorption. So I flipped the gas shocks upside down, and I'm just seeing how it rides with hardly any shock in the front. It's really nice actually, so I'm pretty happy with it so far.
I did notice as well, you're running the same as a few of us, running the Superior Engineering singular drag link conversion. It takes a bit of slop out of the steering.
Yeah,
it's quite a nice job, but the only thing that I don't rate by Superior is it does get very close in there to touching on the chassis. One thing I quite like about Ethan's car, which he's about to explain, he's running the auto hubs out of a GU Patrol, but he's removed the auto mechanism. Do you want to explain why, Ethan?
Yeah, so I always knew that the CVs in these weren't amazing. They're not terrible, they're not chopsticks, but I did, when I was running 35s at one point, not even being super rough on them, I did break one, and I thought instead of just putting another one back in there, I'll do the upgrade, I'll put GQ CVs in there. So I'm running GQ CVs, and to do that you need to also run GQ or GU hubs. Manual hubs are really expensive, so I opted to go for a set of auto hubs, taking out the auto mechanism. So they're essentially free running hubs that you just need to change with a tyre brace. So yeah, that explains why that's there, and everyone's going to ask about that. So interior is pretty simple, not much going on. Because it was a factory petrol, there was no glow timer in it, so I've just got a little aftermarket one down here. You can set the amount of time. I've got it set for about 10 seconds. I don't always use it all. Works fine. I don't have an EDIC motor on the engine, so for the stop, factory choke cable, being a petrol, nice and tidy, looks factory. That stops the engine. For gauges, nice and simple. I've got the JRP 14-in-1 just here. It's a nice little unit. Because I have GQ glass in my doors, I've got rid of that quarter window because it was leaking, and it means I don't need this space to open the quarter windows anymore. So I've chucked the gauge there, and it gives me all the things I need. Boost, EGT, water temp, oil pressure, volts, and I can have oil temperature as well, but I don't have a hole in the sump for it yet, so I'll do that at some point. And that's pretty much the interior. I've got a GQ dash mat on it because MK ones are hard to find and a pain to fit, so this is fine for me. Alpine radio, that's fine. I've just got the 2-kicker speakers in the front doors, VMS GPS. At some point I'm going to get a reversing camera with the mirror that clips over this, so that'll make it easier to see out the back when I'm reversing. And in my center console, if you'll have a look, my center console already had a lot of screw holes in it, so I've gotten some cup holders and screwed into there. So I've got 1, 2, 3 cup holders and a little storage bit now.
You found the life hack. You
cup
can pay
holders,
100k for 79.
Cup holders are
on you.
extremely hard to find in an old 4-wheel drive, so this works great.
And a new one too.
Yes. Pretty simple up here. King's 200-watt solar panel on some Yakima roof bars. I did have a steel rack up here, but it was far too heavy. I like carrying light up the top, so I wanted to keep the solar panel, otherwise I wouldn't have run anything. So the solar panel on the roof bars works fine. Keeps my second battery charged up. I don't need to have it connected to the alternator all the time. When I do want extra power, I do have the capability to do that, but for the most part, the solar panel keeps it all nice and topped up. Shout out MK Patrol spares. The reason I come down to Melbourne in the first place was for this beauty. An old Kamer rear bar for an MK Patrol. It's pretty rough, but it's old, so it's gonna be. As soon as I get home back to Queensland, I'm gonna tidy it up, give it all new paint, maybe even refresh the checker plate, I'm not sure yet. New bearings, it's gonna be sweet. But it already works, so that's good enough for me for now. The bearings are just a bit tight. Barn doors, as you see, it's a van wagon, which is confusing because it was L28 auto, so I'm not sure what the story is there, but I'm sure I'll find out one day. This is not made by Evercool, despite the sticker. I work at Evercool, so I put a sticker there to cover up the King's logo. We don't talk about that. Kick-ass off-high oven, fantastic piece of kit. Even this fridge slide, or this, pantry slide from King's, also really good. It's got a table. It's just good to have space to make stuff, right? When you're out camping, table space and storage space are the two things you want. You can store your dry foods in the back of that. I've got these nice little lights that I'm just storing in here for the moment. King's drawer, Again, more table space. Pull your table out on here. It's very nice. I keep stuff in there. You can pull the pantry slide out over top of it. It's fantastic. Fridge is an Evercool down under 47 litre. Don't tell anyone, I'm testing out some new stuff in this fridge. It's using 0.4 amps per hour. It's fantastic. Battery is a 120 amp hour King's lithium battery. On the battery box, it'll be hard to see. There you go. I've got the charger bolted to the top, and I've got a shunt mounted on the battery with the display in the battery box, so I can monitor all of that from the box, and I can take the box out and it's still all one piece. So it's all nice and neat. I'm actually really happy with it right now. It's good. Screens. Tell me when. Yeah? Right. Everyone seems to run solar screens nowadays, and I wanted some of my own. Unfortunately, being a 50-50 split barn door, you can't run GQ ones, so I had to come up with my own solution. It's not my own solution. Shout out Grab Life by the Ghoulies on YouTube. $15 Kmart thermal sleeping mat. Cut it to the right size, suction cups to hold it there. Perfect solar screens. Keeps the back of the car nice and cool. Keeps the fridge from getting hot. It's just such a good mod. The only thing I don't like about it is that when you are driving around the city, your rear visibility is awful, and I hate it. If you're driving around the city, I'd almost recommend taking them off. I haven't because, I don't know, because I haven't. But I want to sometimes because the rear visibility is awful. But no, honestly, a fantastic thing I did recently. It's really good.
It's not wrong. 3.3. Well, it's actually a 3.2 if you want to get into it.
Nissan rounds it to a 3.3, so I'm going to take that win.
But it's a 3.2.
I know, 3.245. It's not a 3.3.
But it's like the Grandpa 2D.
Yeah, no, I know. It's an older, more tired TD.
As everyone says, has this got a TD in it? Yes, it has a turbo diesel.
Yeah, exactly.
It has a 3.3 turbo diesel.
Intercooled even.
Well, this one is.
Fancy that.
Matter of fact, kicker in the guts. Let's hear it from this special Nissan. She sounds pretty good from the outside. Has it got sound deadening in the cab?
It does. I did carb elders, not the stick down heavy duty ones, just the foam. Well, that's got heavy duty stuff there. I did the foam through most of the cab. Nissan's already got their heavy stuff on the floor, so I thought better not change that. I'll just stick down the foam, and it's not too bad in here. I do need to change my shifter tunnel plate a little bit. It's a little at the moment, so a little bit of noise comes through there and up the firewall, but overall it's pretty good. It's not too bad on the highway.
Easy. Thank you very much for showing your car. Thank you for stopping by, Melbourne.
Yeah,
it's been good.
Cheers for the rear bar.
All good. We finally got to meet after like 2 or 3 years of
Yes.
talking patrols regularly, and probably many hours on the phone discussing patrol things we could do. So yeah, just want to wish you a safe drive home.
Thank you.
I'll put his Instagram in. It's Ethans Nissan.
Yes.
And if you want to see a really cool built MK, give him a follow, and I'll put his YouTube in the bio as well.
Ethans Nissan on the patrol4x4.com forum. That's where I'm most active.
You heard it here first, guys. Have a safe trip, man.
Thank you.
See ya.
I'm